Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be testing a bunch of new makeup. I have an entire bin here full of stuff that I've been gathering so that I could do this video. I could have tested some of these on my own because I've had them for a while, but I like to save these for you guys so that we can test them on camera so I can share my thoughts with you. I always put timestamps in the description box in case you guys are interested in skipping ahead to anything, but I do want to go over with you guys what we have on today's agenda. Plus we're going to be doing a wear test because we have a new base product. We have the Easy Blur primer from Huda Beauty and then also the Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. So we're going to do a wear test on those guys. I am testing out a new mic today, so I'm hoping that the sound sounds better, that the quality of the sound sounds better. I have been like picking up a lot of echo over the course of filming my videos, and this room sounds a little echoey anyway, so I'm hoping that this is nicer. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below of the new audio. But let's go over what's on today's agenda. We'll get started with some of this stuff. Again, I'll link the timestamps in the description box in case you guys want to skip ahead to any particular product. I told you guys what we're using as our base, the new primer and foundation from Huda Beauty. I also picked up the Melted Chromes from Beaute bar, so we have this for the eyes. We'll do full swatches on this guy. It's a little bit of an indie brand slash affordable haul slash what's new at Sephora. Also for the eyes, I have the new Exaggerize Volume Mascara from Tilbury. I have liked her Pillow Talk push-up lashes before and have repurchased that, but I saw these, and if you guys know my preference in mascara, it is volume, volume, volume. So I picked that up not just to test, but really for myself because it seems like a mascara that I would really like. For base, I picked up the new Ciele SPF 50 concealer, and then Tower 28 launched the new Get Set Blur and Set Pressed powder, and they did it in a couple different shades. They did translucent, but they also had some like pinky tones and things like that. And I initially wasn't gonna get it because I like a really mattifying powder, and I thought that this powder was gonna be too lightweight. And then I started seeing the reviews and people were saying that they found this powder too heavy, and I was like, okay, that's for me. So let's get it. I bought this for myself to test this out. Now, a ton of new blushes launched, of course. These are the oldest ones. The Fenty Cheeks Suede Powder Blush. I picked up 2 shades of this. I've had this the longest. So we'll give that a go because I haven't seen a ton of people post about it, but also I've been living under like a small little rock lately with everything that's been going on with me personally, but I still wanted to try those on camera. And then Moira Beauty launched some blush dupes, okay? Blush dupes for the Merit Beauty blush balms. And I think we'll give these a shot. I think they're pretty comparable in terms of formula. But Caliray also launched a liquid blush. If you've ever heard me talk about Caliray, you know that I really enjoy their products. Moira Beauty also launched a Butter Bliss lip balm, and I've had this for a while too. This is not like a super new release, but I wanted to give it a go because you know Moira, they're pretty affordable. And finally, from Gucci, the Glow Highlighter. So that is what's on today's agenda, you guys. I think what we'll do today is we'll start with eyes as I normally do, and then I will throw on a little bit of foundation. This is just my Revlon Illuminance foundation so that we can test out the different blush formulas before we put on the Huda Beauty foundation. All right, let's get into the Melted Chromes. I don't think we're gonna be able to use this as like a standalone palette, but we'll see. This comes from Beaute bar. I do have a code, a discount code. So if you guys are interested in picking this up, she launched these with Melted Mattes also, which was an all matte palette, but I didn't pick that up. I have other Beaute bar mattes and they're great. I didn't think I needed it, but I love her multi-chrome and chrome formula. I love her shimmer formula in general. Anyway, I do have a discount code that saves you guys 10% off, and it will be listed in the description box in case you guys are interested in checking this palette or anything else that she has out. She also has like the Poison Shock. I think it's another collaboration palette that may be already released or is upcoming. I think I called it Melted Chromes, but it's the Molten Chromes. It is fully magnetic. This does retail for $60, and it comes with 5 multi-chrome shimmers and 1 holochrome shimmer. So that makes it a little bit more expensive because these are all multi-chromes. And so far in looking at it, only one of them looks like pretty flaky, which is this one, which is nice to kind of limit that. So let's swatch this out to decide which one I'm gonna use today. I don't know if I'll just use this all over and then like buff it out. This one is called Heat. Ooh, nice and soft. Doesn't have like the strongest base, but it is so densely packed that you can see like you're picking up a ton of light reflection. I mean, holy smokes, you guys, that's crazy right there. I love orangey shimmers anyway, so. And then Melt is another like orangey one, but it's a lot icier. Oh, this is pinky. has definitely like a pink flip to it. It's like a bluish pink is kind of what this looks like. It doesn't list any descriptions about the shadows on her site. However, it does say that heat, bake, and drip are pressed pigments instead of eyeshadow. So it's an eyeshadow and pressed pigment formula. This one is Molten, which is kind of flaky, but I'm not picking up a ton of flakes. That is such a beautiful, like purpley shade. It's like got this like purpley blue, like a ton of different sparkles to it, but it's almost a purpley base. Oof, that is so pretty. That one I may end up using just because it's like got so many different glitters in it. That's kind of my favorite looking shade. All right, the next one is Dissolve, which is a yellow. Ooh, this is like, I love this. I love this kind of shade even as a highlighter too. It's just so punchy yellow. My fave, my fave. These are definitely all a little bit more translucent than super pigmented. Look at that bright yellow. That is so light reflecting. And it's got like really, really refined sparkles in it too. It's very smooth as well. All of these so far are smooth. The purple one's probably like the thickest. All right, we did Heat as the multi-chrome or as the pressed pigment, which is this one here. And then this next one, Bake, is also a pressed pigment. And this is like a purple base. Again, pretty light though, like pretty translucent. Yeah, this is not a purple base. It's just really translucent with a purple kind of blue flip. These are all on the lighter side. Definitely interested to see how much they're different like on the eyes. This is more pink and this is more purple. I can personally see like variations here. It's just that most of these have a pretty translucent base. Okay, I keep saying that. And then Drip, the final shade, is the most pigmented, and it is also again a pressed pigment. It's probably not my favorite. It's a little bit more flat, a less dimension than the rest of them. So I'm definitely going for Molten. Molten was a little bit chunky. It was the one that I said that was chunky. It's really just like the prettiest looking on the swatch. It was the one that was like right here. Just multi-dimensional sparkles throughout. Just looks so good. All right, I'm gonna do something really simple. I'm going to only use the shimmer, period. Nothing in the crease. I've set my eyes with the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, but I'm not going to set them with any powder. I've let that primer set for a while. So I want to see how this Molten shade like just goes on, like blends out, I guess, essentially on top of this primer. But I want it all over the lid, and I want to buff it out with a brush after I put it on, like as a single shadow essentially, and see how you can use this palette as a standalone. Bear with me on the process here, you guys. My fingers are so big. I never get this precise. Like getting it to my eye, I inevitably just make a huge mess, especially if I'm trying to get like into the inner corner here. So this is a really, really creamy shade. Like I don't even think you need like a base, like a glitter primer with this, because it's so tacky feeling that it's kind of like immediately sticking to the eyes. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's just so pretty. It's so, so pretty. Just trying to make sure I get really close to my lash line. Sometimes I like miss little spots near my lash line. Oh, it's got such a beautiful pink base. All right, it definitely has some glitter fallout, okay? But not a ton. All right, now I'm just gonna buff the edges a little bit. I think I have some like shadow probably like left over on this brush. If I had to guess, it's kind of like a purple shade, which is actually looking pretty good with this shadow. Not gonna lie, but I just want to like buff out some of these sparkles and see how well the edges buff. Whoo! Not putting any glitter primer down. I'm definitely, they're getting some flyaways are happening. So if you don't want like glitter everywhere all over your face, you're definitely gonna want to use the glitter primer, but it's still absolutely gorgeous. And mind you, this was like the chunkiest of the shades too, like the most textured metallic of all of them. So yeah, it's still falling out like everywhere. But this shade is just absolutely gorgeous. Like as a shimmer, so good. I love her formulation. I do. And I think that they're beautiful, and I think that they add something to my collection. Plus I just like her as a person, and as a brand, I definitely like the aesthetic and the new releases that she puts out. Those are interesting to me too. And also she ships super fast and her customer service is bomb. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna curl my lashes and we're gonna go into this Charlotte Tilbury mascara. Hindsight is 2020, guys. I'll use a glitter primer with this, okay? For sure. So this mascara retails for $29, which is I think pretty decent for Charlotte. It's called the Exaggerized Volumizing and Curling Mascara. It says it's a volumizing long-wear mascara for up to 28 hours of volume and curl with a smudge-proof formula that gives lashes 9 times the volume and double curl effect from root to tip. This is like a glass jar. This is full glass, okay? This is the heaviest mascara ever. The other one that's pretty heavy is like fully ceramic that I have in my collection. I think I just decluttered it, but it was from Queen Musea. But this one is even more heavy, being fully glass. I love that they say it's transfer resistant. I love that they say it's volumizing and curling because those two things are my favorite when it comes to mascara. The only thing I'm a little bit nervous about is this wand because I don't typically love wands that are like this, that are like the natural bristled wands and that they're a little bit thicker. And I don't always love when they're curled, even though I feel like a lot of people do. So right away, it's kind of a drier formula. It's not super wet. It's not coming out like super easily. It definitely has like a thickness about it. I mean, you can see it like on the wand that it's just a little bit thicker in nature, which is usually what I love because then it coats the lashes really well. Again, this is such a luxury mascara for 29 bucks. Okay, let's do it. Let's start with the first coat. Okay, there's what I would consider the first coat. That actually did really well for a mascara that is freshly opened. Fresh, fresh, fresh usually means that the formula hasn't had a chance to dry out yet, or it's just not as intense as it can get. And usually my mascaras that are volumizing, they need a moment to dry out. So I'm already impressed. It's not super clumpy. I thought it might be given this wand or that it was a tackier formula, but I mean, it's pretty clean. It's not as intense as I like, so let's see if we can build it. Okay, it's actually really nicely buildable. And I think I really do see the curl here. I get really skeptical when it says like it's curling because I don't always see that, especially on my left eye. This eyelash, for whatever reason, it just like shoots forward instead of up. Like this one shoots a lot more up, but it's really buildable in that like it did not start getting chunky or dry on itself, so I could keep going. I'd like to see if I can do like even a third coat on this. Yeah, I think you can still keep building. It's getting a little bit tackier now, but it's still getting more intense as you keep going, which is not always the case if it dries too quickly. All right, definitely if you don't like a volumizing mascara, this probably isn't the mascara for you. Although I do think it gives good length, I definitely see that it's more volumizing in nature, even though sometimes they say that and they're not. I like the intensity here. I would love to see how this performs as the formula dries out because right now it's maybe a little bit too creamy for me. Not as tacky as I would personally like. I mean, I'm the kind of person who wants the mascara to grip the crap out of my lashes. And like literally one coat is pretty much all you need, but also all the mascara can give you because it gets really, really tacky on the lashes. So right now it's not as dry as I bet you this mascara can get, but it has that characteristic that it will get tackier. So anyway, this is the right eye. So far, I'm really enjoying the way that this looks, and it's intensely pigmented too. Love that, love that. If I had to review mascaras all day long, I might be okay with that. Now let's see what it does to my left lashes that aren't as curled or even as long. I don't mean to say that they're not as long because I do think that they are, but do you see how my left side just doesn't quite curl as much as my right side? So like a curling mascara is always like really important to me. Like it is so strange how much this right eye seems to curl more than the left. I think the left side got pretty chunky though. I really want this mascara to dry out. At the current moment, it's just a little bit too creamy for me. And I'm having to build it up to the intensity that I like. And like over and over and over. This is like definitely requiring me to build more than I like. It's pretty chunky. Like I'm not gonna say that it's not chunky. I do think that it is. I did hit my eye in like one spot, but it was so minimal. And I say that because that wand is the kind that I usually would poke myself with because it's just not like the really tight bristles, or I can get really close to the lash line. Again, I don't love when they're super thick. So we'll see if this mascara transfers during the wear test. So far, you guys have my initial thoughts. Oh, she's gonna take something out. I'm telling you guys, it's like almost a weapon. Okay, I have put on like the tiniest bit of foundation just so we can test out these blushes. No concealer, it's not on my forehead. I basically just put it on my cheeks so that it wasn't like going onto my bare skin. Sometimes that looks better, especially if the blush is a little bit more sheer. So this way we can test out these blushes. So I want to go into the Fenty Beauty blushes first. These are called the Cheek Suede Waterproof Powder Blush, which I'm all about waterproof. These do come in 8 different shades, which is pretty cool. Again, I picked up 2 of the shades and these retail for $28 a piece. They actually come in 2 different finishes if I'm looking at this correctly. Some of them are a little bit more shimmery and then some of them are a matte finish. They are just a pressed powder formula. They are waterproof and they're supposed to be long wearing. The box is pretty big. I want you guys to take note at like what the box size is. Like this is a bigger sized box in general, like in comparison to the Gucci highlighter or in comparison to like the Tower 28 powder, which I'm not lining up properly, but this looks a lot bigger. I say that because I want to show you guys like the product on the inside. Like there's all this extra packaging because of the shape of the blush. So it comes like this and then you open it up and the blush comes out like that. So it's a lot smaller than the box just because of this like shape of it. I mean, they could have put it in here like this, you know? I don't know, just pretty big. Thought I would mention that. This one is Petal Poppin'. Comes with this little thing on here. I'm interested to see how these store because they're like sideways. So they're gonna sit like this in a drawer. That's a silly little thing. Anyway, this one kind of looks like it is the matte finish. There's no shimmer to this one at all. Oh my gosh, you guys, these feel like straight cream. I don't know why my octaves went up like 12 notches there, but yeah, just the touch of it. You guys, look how smooth that is. If the camera will focus, that is so smooth. Oh my gosh, I must blend this in. Oh my gosh. It's got like a tiny bit of sheen to it, but there's no sparkles. You see the sheen? No sparkles to it whatsoever, and that is so airbrushing. It's such a light powder formula. Oh, I'm already in love. Already. It is also supposed to be sweat and humidity resistant that delivers blendable bold color in a matte and shimmer shades for all. Then I have Bacon Cakes is the next one, which looks like a pretty nude shade. These are Italian powders, so made in Italy. It's 0.14, it says fluid ounces, but 0.14 ounces. I don't know why it would be fluid. And they have, I'm pretty sure, a 12-month shelf life. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, this is like a pretty nudie looking shade overall. This one also just looks like a matte finish again. Wow, you guys, these are so creamy. They're so creamy. It's crazy. Oh wow, that one is way more intensely pigmented than I thought it was going to be. But isn't that like a great nudie like terracotta shade? Look how airbrushing those are. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Why did I wait to get these? I'm so crazy. I'm taking an angled powder brush. I think this is just like an older one, angled blush brush. It's from Jasmine Beauty, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna start with the Bacon Cakes one. This looks delish. I'm gonna shake it off. I'm gonna kind of stamp it in just a little. I built that one up quite a bit. What was happening? I don't know. Like it seemed like it wasn't sticking to like this spot here. I'm not sure what that was about, but overall, I think it blends pretty well. I think you can really build up the intensity here. I wasn't like overly impressed with that application, to be honest. It just seemed like, yeah, like it was light in certain areas. Let me switch to a little bit more dense of a brush. This is just a Morphe. I love these freaking things. I don't even know what this brush is called. I think it came from like a set and so it's unmarked, but I want to try stamping it into the cheeks because for whatever reason, this one just didn't, I don't know, it didn't blend like perfectly. It was like missing spots. I'm telling you guys, it was not the smoothest application, and that's usually not the case with like a powder blush formula that felt this smooth being swatched. Yeah, that was a little bit better, kind of stamping it into the cheeks. I love this shade though, right here. This warmth, this like nudie terracotta, so gorgeous, so gorgeous. I like this shade too, but it's a little poppy pink. I think I'm like starting to get away from that color again. I go back and forth with blush a lot where I like an orange and then I'll go, no, I like something a little bit more pink and youthful, and then I'll do that thing again where I'm like, no, I like this side a little bit better. I don't know if it's like a seasonal thing or what, but I think it's just my brain. But right now I'm just digging shades like this more often, where I like decluttered a lot of shades like this. I think in my very last blush declutter. These are pretty. I don't love the application as much as I loved the way that they felt on a swatch. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna have to like test these a little bit more. Not that they're bad, it just, that was not the smoothest powder application I've ever done. I think I had to really just stamp this one in to make it look good. You know, anytime that it feels like it sticks to a certain area or my freckles show through like a little bit more in certain areas, and I'm immediately thinking, oh, it's not blending the greatest. All right, we have taken off the blushes and reapplied the foundation. So let's go into these blushes. They are called the Soft Blush Balm. These actually come in what looks like more matte shades and then more shimmer shades. And they come in 12 different shades, which is pretty cool. So it's a natural touch of color with our Soft Blush Balm. It's your go-to for effortlessly radiant cheeks. The creamy blendable formula easily glides onto your skin, providing a soft, dewy finish that enhances your natural beauty. It says our Soft Blush Balm comes in 12 flattering shades to match every skin tone. Whether you want a subtle hint of color or a more pronounced glow, the versatile balm lets you adjust the intensity to suit your look. These are identical to the Merit Beauty blush balms, and even has like gold writing, just like the Merit Beauty, which is like kind of gold on gold. And I don't even know if the Merit Beauty comes in like this gold packaging anymore. But wow, I mean, they're literally the exact same thing. So they were totally duping the Merit Beauty blush balms. So it says to swipe onto the apples of your cheeks, but I really just like doing that. So these do have jojoba oil, camellia oil. They're 100% vegan and cruelty free. There's 0.3 ounces to them, and they do have a 12-month shelf life. This first one is in Talk to Me. They don't have a description of the shades, but they do retail for $8.50. Which is pretty normal for Moira. This is so creamy and emollient. You know, I might actually be able to get away with swiping it on. I'm gonna compare it against Beverly Hills from Merit. Let's just do like a side by side. Okay, so the Moira is immediately more intense. This is Merit, and they're about the same amount of radiance, but the Merit is so much more of a flush. This is so much more intense color. They're relatively like similar shades, honestly. Talk to Me could be like a pretty decent dupe for the Beverly Hills one. Maybe it's got like a little bit more pink in it than the Merit, because the Merit's like almost like a hint purple, where this one seems a little bit more pink. But let's do a side by side on the cheeks. This is just so creamy. Let's just go ahead and swipe it on and pat it out with a pretty dense brush. I'm gonna say right away, there's already more pigment here than the one from Merit. To be honest with you, if you guys have ever heard me review those Merit blush balms, I don't love them. I pulled this out of my reference library because I don't love something quite this sheer. I thought I would, but I don't. It's just not my preference. So I think I actually might like the Moira as an alternative to how sheer these are. I have to say, so far, swiping it onto the cheek in that way, the Moira, it blended out so much easier than the Merit is. Just by a touch. Just by a touch. Okay, that's it. I mean, they're not that dissimilar side by side. You can see that the Moira has a little bit more pigment, but not a ton. Not a ton once you blend it out. Let's see if we can't take the same brushes and apply more just by kind of like picking it up on the brush and tapping it in. I'd like to see which ones could build a little bit better. I know Merit can get a little bit more intense than that. Wow, it's really pretty, very natural. Same thing, brush, same brush. Let's just tap it onto Moira and dab it here. Okay, so Moira can get a lot more intense. I think I even went in like barely tapping it on the Moira. Guys, this is a full-on dupe. The shade too, even once you get it on. I am not even joking. I already prefer this one so much more. I think it's more pigmented. I do. I think it's got like a little bit more intensity. And these retail for $30. $30, $8.50. One of the best perfect dupes that I have tested in a while. I'm not joking. So if you love these, I think you're gonna love these. Okay guys, last set of blush. I'm gonna put on the last shade from these soft blush balms in Dreamer, which I think is like this perfect kind of peachy shade. Yeah, it's like a really nice peachy shade. A little bit more pink than orange. I'm gonna take another Morphe brush that I love. I have like 3 of these, so this is like the last clean one. And I'm gonna apply it here by just tapping it onto the product instead of swiping. I really liked what that did. It was just, I don't know, smoother. I think it's easier to pounce into the cheeks, blend into the cheeks, whatever. That one is almost like even more intense. It's like a little bit more hot pink than peach, I would say. Like a hot peach, I don't know. I mean, these are really pretty. They're a nice flush of color. They're not sticky at all, and they're just a little bit more intense than Merit, if you ask me, based on like first application. Yeah, they're not sticky, but I would say that they're gonna transfer though. I think that's a lot of people's complaint that don't like those Merit blush balms, is that they do transfer. They're not extremely long lasting formula. So this might not be something that you guys would like if you like a longer lasting formula, but I think the formula and the blend itself is very beautiful. Again, as far as a dupe goes, I haven't found like a close dupe in a really long time. If you love the Merit blush balms, I'm telling you guys, like, you need to check out these ones from Moira Beauty. All right, very last blush, you guys. Let's go into the Caliray Blurry Blush. It's called a Blurry Blush. It only comes in 5 different shades at the current moment, and it retails for $25. It's supposed to be a long-wearing natural finish blush that's good for pores. It's a cream formula. This does have niacinamide in it, which some of you say that irritates your skin. It's supposed to be a blurring, pore minimizing cream to powder blush. Blurry Blush Pore Minimizing Cream Blush with Niacinamide is the full description or full name on Sephora's website. So it's a blush that delivers a transfer-free, diffuse, buildable pop of color to the cheeks. Niacinamide boosts hydration, evens the look of skin tone, and reduces the appearance of pores. It does have kaolin clay, which I think some of you say can dry your skin out because it's supposed to create a blurred effect that's long-wearing, transfer-free, and absorbs oil. This also has copper peptides, which conditions skin, helps calm redness, visibly improves texture, and protects the skin barrier. This is a thick plastic, it's not glass. It kind of looked like it. It's a pretty big doe foot applicator. This looks like it would dupe the Say blushes. Like just how kind of thick it is on this doe foot applicator, that's what the Say blushes look like. But this is like a thinner formula than the Say. The Say feels thick. I also don't like the Say blush formula very much. I think it's okay, but honestly, sometimes it's just a little too thick for me. Well, it's very blurring. There is it all rubbed in. It has like a tiny sheen to it, but it is like a cream to powder formula. You can tell that this like really dries down. It does say that you can dot these 3 onto the cheeks and blend it out. I think we'll just try that. It actually says to take the boxing style doe foot applicator and dot it onto the cheeks. So I'm gonna take a soft pinch blush brush from Rare Beauty to apply these. It might be too much because these seem pretty intensely pigmented. So let's just start with a single dot there. It's almost like this fully matte finish, and 1 dot was just not enough. I don't think personally. Okay, so I forgot to grab the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush Brush. Okie dokie. Okay, I'm not loving this. I'm actually gonna use the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush Brush. Something a little bit more dense and really stamp it into the cheeks. The reason that I'm not loving this, you guys, is because it reminds me so much of the Say Dupe blushes, where I just find that it gets a little bit thick and it's a little bit hard to press into the cheeks, and sometimes it gets patchy because of that. That's kind of how this feels. Okay, that is so much better with like a super dense brush, but that's matte. That is matte. Yeah, that's a cream to powder right there. Is this gonna be like one of the first products I don't love from Caliray? Like, look, is it patchy right there? Are you patchy? Part of it also may be that I'm dotting it straight onto the cheeks and I do not like love, look at that. It just took it right off of my face, like trying to swipe it. Okay, don't swipe, pounce. Yeah, it's fully matte. I don't love the way that that applied, you guys. I would even say like put it on the back of your hand, pick it up, and then stamp it into the cheeks. Don't put it directly onto the cheeks. It's just, I don't know, it's a little patchy. It's a little bit flat looking to me. I'm so kind of disappointed. Okay, if you guys know, I always retest all of my products and I do speed reviews and I will update you guys, but my first impression would be do not run out and buy these for $25 because they're just a little bit too matte maybe. And When I say that, I mean like one-dimensional. Matte isn't bad necessarily, but when it's a cream formula and it's like too matte, sometimes it does look one-dimensional. I think you have to do like a really good job in formulation if you're gonna do something that's a cream, that's a matte formula, especially something that's on the more pigmented side. So yeah, there's so many products from Caliray that I would say run out and get right now, okay? They'll enhance your collection. This is not one of them. And I'm sad about it because I really do love and want to love a lot of Caliray products. I don't think this changed my life. I prefer this one so much more, although this is like totally gonna lift from my face, where this is just gonna lock down like all day. So depending upon what you're looking for, the Caliray might be nice, but I just have so many cream blush in my collection that I don't know that this one totally enhanced what I've got going on, if that makes any sense. Moira Beauty's not gonna stay, just like Merit. Although you might be able to set it a little bit, but you're gonna take away the radiance. Hence the reason I didn't like the Merit blush balms, because I have formulas in my collection that are radiant that will actually last on the face, where the Merit just didn't. They faded off very quickly and they transferred very easily. So I always thought that there were just better formulas for cream and even like a flush of color than the Merit blush balms. So I can already see like where I've stuck my finger on here to kind of lift some of this off. If you like something that's a little bit more blurring, the Caliray might be good, but I would definitely recommend putting it on the back of your hand and then rubbing it in and picking it up with a dense brush. That would be like my preferred application method. Okay, you guys, moving on. We're moving on to the base products finally. Everything's off of my face. So let's talk about the blurring primer and then the Easy Blur foundation. So the primer itself retails for $29. It is supposed to be best for combo, normal, and then dry skin. It doesn't say anything about oily skin. It's made without silicone, it's fragrance free, it leaves a matte finish, it's good for pores, and it's cruelty free. What it says is, it's our non-comedogenic jelly-like primer, instantly controls excess oils, adds smooth texture, and blurs pores for an airbrushed soft focus finish. It has milk thistle extract in it, which is antioxidant rich, that soothes oily skin. It's got glycerin, which is moisturizing and again smooths oily skin, and polymers, which blurs the appearance of pores and smooths texture. I usually love primers like this. It looks like it is like a purple color. Oh yeah, fully like this pure jelly formula. It feels silicone based with no silicones. It is definitely blurring. Like, whoa, it's really blurring. Like, there is that hand and there is this hand. Can you see how like blurring and kind of a matte finish that it gives? It's cold too. It feels kind of cold on the skin. All right, let's do it on one side of the nose, shall we? Just to see how blurring it can get. Wow, a little bit goes a long way. So that was more than one side of my nose, but let me just kind of do it on one side of my face and then we can kind of do a side by side. Okay, this side, it does look more blurred than that side. It definitely looks a little bit more mattifying. Sometimes the blur though, it's like it lasts about 5 minutes and then it fades off and then it's like not blurring anymore. So let's kind of just sit here with it and let it dry down and see if the blur stays. You can immediately see it on my forehead. You see how much more mattified this side is than this side? It really does give a matte appearance and a really blurred effect. It's kind of in my hair. I definitely see it like blurring my pores. That's the side that it's not on versus this side. I can still see it on the forehead. This side really shiny, this side not so much. And it is very nourishing. It's not tight or dry feeling on the face. So far I really like the primer. All right, we're gonna go for full bore. Again, you really don't need a lot. This like tiny little bit that I put on my finger pretty much goes like the whole face. I would not recommend putting more than that on. Ooh, I actually really like this, you guys. So far, this feels definitely like something I would really like. And it looks smooth too. It reminds me a lot of the Caliray So Blown Blurring Primer. Reminds me a lot of that. And they're honestly comparable in price too. This is 1 fluid ounce, so I think it's a little bit bigger than the Caliray. It also has a 12-month shelf life, and this one is made in South Korea. So far I really like it. I do. Let's let this sink in on the left side of the face for sure. And we'll talk about the Easy Blur foundation. So it's called Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation, again with niacinamide. So if you guys are sensitive to that, I hope the camera is not picking up the recycling truck that's outside. So this is also natural finish, fragrance free, medium coverage, cruelty-free, a lightweight, medium to buildable coverage foundation that's non-comedogenic and ultra blurring for an airbrushed finish. It is 1.5% niacinamide, smooths and refines the look of uneven texture and pore, and it has silica, which is pore blurring, results in a natural airbrushed finish. And this one retails for $37, and I believe it comes in 30 different shades. I got mine in Shortbread 200B, which is described as, wow, light skin with pinky beige undertone. And I think I got that because I was like, custard is too dark, which is light skin with neutral undertones. And that's what I typically go for if I'm looking for a description, but that shade looked way too dark for me. So I was like, no. And then the next one was Chai, which is light skin with beige undertones. And I was like, well, I don't think I have beige undertones. So 200B in Shortbread was number 6 in the range, which is light skin with pinky beige undertones. And I didn't want Creme Brulee, which had golden undertones. So I'm hoping that this works, you guys. I mean, 6 is like quite a lot down the range, although the 6 in Patrick Ta's new foundation worked like perfectly for me. The packaging here is just like plastic container. It is 1 fluid ounce, like I told you guys. This one is made in Italy and has an 18-month shelf life on it. I'm gonna give it a little shake. I love to see what the consistency is. Like once I pump it onto my hand, is it runny? It's runny, which I actually kind of like. I'm somebody who likes like a runnier foundation because usually they're just like a little bit more lightweight. All right, it's like a little bit streaky so far, like kind of blending it in, but it's definitely medium coverage. Let's rub it in and see if this gives like a natural finish, shall we? Yeah, pretty much. Not too flat matte, maybe a little bit more radiance than I thought it was gonna give. All right, you guys, we're doing one side with a brush and one side with a sponge. So let's start with the side with a brush. I'm gonna just put it on the back of my hand and pat it in like I normally do. What is this, half a pump? Let's just start with that. And I'm gonna take a Merit, I think this is like the number 1 brush or the foundation brush. Oh, why does this already look delish? It's blending into the skin like so nicely and so easily. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think it's this primer. Like sitting on top of the primer, doesn't it look like super blurring on the face? And it's like sinking in like immediately. Oh heavens. I already love the way this looks, you guys. It looks so smooth on the skin. I've never tried a Huda Beauty complexion product ever. So I have no comparison, none. None in my mind's eye, you guys. I have nothing to compare it against in terms of like how smooth her formulations can or can't be. But that blends into the skin perfectly. And I love that amount of coverage. I would say it's even light buildable to medium, but it's so lightweight. Like look how much I have left over. I can really take the rest of this for the other side of the face. Do I even need more? Maybe like a tad bit. Probably should put more too because I'm using a sponge. All right, I'm taking a damp beauty blender and I'm gonna stamp in this side. I'm adding a little bit more coverage because the sponge is soaking up quite a bit of it. Ah, I love both of them. The only thing the brush side did was give me more coverage, but it didn't make it any more smooth, which sometimes like stamping it into the skin with a brush sometimes does press it into the skin. But when it's a thinner weight foundation, I find that it just doesn't matter. So gorgeous. Oh, this is so good. I love this. I love the way this blurs the skin and I love this amount of coverage. So I'm definitely interested to see this wear test. I'm excited to see this wear test. Again, it's a natural finish, so not made necessarily for oily skin. It says best for dry, normal, and combo skin. And it does not have the claim to be super long lasting either. That's not one of the things listed here on at least the Sephora website. Let's move on to this concealer. This is also the very first Ciele complexion products that I've tested. I have tried their blush, but that is it. I haven't tried nothing else from the line, although I wanted to try their like Tint and Protect medium coverage serum foundation with the SPF 50, but I never did that. That was on like one of my products that I wish to test or brands that I wish to try in 2024. But at least I'm getting to try this concealer. So it's called the Conceal and Protect SPF 50 plus Spot Concealer for dark spots. This is $36, which Ciele can be pretty pricey. This does come in 20 different shades. I would say the shade range is not the greatest on this. It is supposed to be fragrance-free, cruelty-free, a mineral SPF spot concealer that conceals blemishes, sunspots, and hyperpigmentation with hydrating, buildable to full coverage, and a natural finish. Okay, so the coverage is meant to be full, but the finish is meant to be natural. It says it has tranexamic acid, which is supposed to improve the look of discoloration and prevents the formation of new dark spots. Okay. I have mine in the shade 04N, which is the 4th lightest shade, and it's supposed to be light neutral. So I hope this works because that's typically what I go for. I told you guys, light neutral is what I usually get. This is a thick plastic component here. I love this like gradient packaging. Like that's so pretty. This has 0.246 ounces. It's made in the US, but nothing on here says like the shelf life on it at all. So pretty much I can assume it's 12 months. It's got one of those flat, like pointed doe foot applicators, which I love for concealers. Oh, this is thick. This is thick, you guys. Look how full coverage that immediately looks. And it's very thick. I think this is a little bit too dark for me. Oops, I should have gone cooler. Oh no. This definitely has a warmth to it, but it's too deep of a shade, period. The formula is tacky. Like it feels full coverage. It feels full coverage, okay? Does that make any sense whatsoever? It feels like it's gonna be nice and tacky, nice and full coverage. I just don't want it to crease and sink into fine lines. Oops, it's darker than the foundation. Oh my goodness, it's full coverage, that's for sure. I do like a full coverage concealer, but I love when it's thin, like a nice thin formula, like almost watery. Okay, I can get away with that shade. I can get away with it. And I don't think it's too dark, like some of my concealers. It actually, you know, it blends in pretty nicely. Holy smokes though, it covered up pretty much everything. Like the hyperpigmentation that I especially carry around my eyes. Didn't that make it look so good? That's very smooth, very smooth. Let's see what it looks like on top of this guy, because that's been haunting us this whole video. If you guys watched my last video, you know I switched face washes. I switched to like Tula, and immediately I started breaking out like everywhere. On my nose, I started getting like breakouts under my nose, and I got it on my chin. I don't even get breakouts anymore, so every time I like have a product and I start breaking out, like I go into denial that that's what's causing it. Like, oh, it must be this or it must be that. When I know damn well that's the only thing I changed, but I'll be like, it could be this though. And the minute I stop using it just to test it, I stop breaking out. So now I'm like in the recovery phase. Anyway, that added a lot of coverage, but I mean, I don't think a lot is gonna cover up our friend here. Nope. It's definitely a tackier, kind of stickier finish, but I love the coverage. I love the coverage. It's not like really my preferred formula, which I told you guys, but I love the coverage. Love it. I like the way that it feels going on too. It's very blendable, even for being a little bit more thick. I'm not gonna lie. Just immediately putting it on, I'm telling myself in my head, okay, this is the reason you need to go test more from Ciele now. I love the coverage. I love it, you guys. It's just like, whose under eyes are those, okay? I love it. Let's move on to this Get Set powder from Tower 28. So this comes in 4 shades. It retails for $28. The 4 shades are translucent, then it comes in 2 toned shades, and then it comes in 1 pink shade. This is supposed to be non-comedogenic and good for pores. It's a talc-free, safe for sensitive skin setting powder that blurs and smooths skin and makes any base transfer-proof and sweat-resistant. You guys, I didn't even realize that. Like when I saw this come out, it's the Get Set Blur and Set talc-free press setting powder. It doesn't give me the impression that it's meant for really being transfer resistant and good for like sweating. So when I saw the reviews of this, it's what made me jump on this. This also has kaolin clay, which is gentle on sensitive skin, but controls shine. Squalene, which delivers hydration and nourishment to the skin. I love products that have squalene in it. For whatever reason, squalene smooths out my skin. It makes me look a lot less textured. I love squalene. This also has hydrophobic silica, which improves sweat resistance and look of skin elasticity. Honestly, my base right now, I feel freaking fresh. I feel like the coverage level is really good. It's not like a hard matte finish. I'm loving all of these products that we're putting on the base. All right, this one is in translucent trestles, and I think that mine is like the pure white shade. The other thing that I heard about this is that people said it felt cheap for 28 bucks. There's no mirror in here. And this doesn't look like the best packaging I've ever seen Tower 28 do. And it feels kind of gritty initially when you touch it. And then once you get off that like top layer, it's a lot smoother. I think I have swatched this and it's pretty brightening. See how brightening that is? It's definitely shaded. All right, let's start with a little puffy. Holy smokes, a lot picks up on this. I don't know if I want all that. And let's go on the right side of the face. I still have a little bit of natural radiance from the foundation, like especially on the forehead. See on my cheeks how natural the foundation is? Then I powdered over it. Oh, this is so blurring. Could I love this powder? All right, here goes nothing. You guys ready? Oh, that's gorgeous. Let's do the nose. I love this. I love this. It actually does feel very lightweight going on like this. All right, let's do one side of the forehead. It's brightening, but it's not too white, even with as much picked up on the puffy. This is beautiful. Especially if you have combo oily skin, I think that it's beautiful. Beautiful going on. I don't know yet whether or not this is gonna be a super matte powder or whether or not it's gonna be something that like lock my makeup down and prevent the oils from producing. It's really just supposed to be sweat resistant, but the kaolin clay in it will be good for producing the oils. So some of you may not like that. It might be that's why it's getting the negative reviews, because it's just a little bit more oil controlling in general, but it's gorgeous on the skin. All right, I just threw on the lightest amount of bronzer. And I think I'm gonna go back into the Moira Beauty Talk to Me shade, the very first blush we tried, because I wanna see, honestly, how long it lasts. I think we need to do like a wear test on this to see how it compares to the longevity, if that's what you can call it, to the Merit blush. Putting this on with a dense brush by picking it up from the product. This is healthy. Like putting it on top of this foundation and this blurring primer and everything blurring that I'm putting on, delish, delish. $8.50, you guys, $8.50. Oh, this is so beautiful. I'm like loving, 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 loving. I've been trying so hard to curate the purchases that I've been making. Not just to buy, because it's a new release, but will I really like it for me? And I think it's been working out so much better that way. I mean, that's what I should have been doing all along, but especially when you have your channel, you want to test, I think, like everything, because you don't know what's going to interest people and what isn't. But I've been steering clear of doing that and just getting things I think I'll like. All right, let's go into this highlighter. They got some pretty interesting shades on this highlighter and it was expensive, but I love Gucci. I love Gucci. I almost love everything that I have from Gucci, including their mascara. I'm not kidding. I think Gucci is a really good makeup line. This comes in 5 different shades currently. It retails for 59 bucks. It's the house's first powdered gel highlighter. It was created as the ultimate radiance enhancer to reveal your vibrant emotions, okay? Powered by the glow light capturing technology, the formula is infused with a high concentration of thin pearls in a unique powdered gel emollient texture. Interesting. For a light reflecting multi-dimensional glow finish, the illuminating powder melts onto the skin and enhances complexion radiance. And when I say it came in like vibrant shades, there's an entire like frosted lilac shade. Ooh, it's a powder gel formula. Oh, I'm so excited. I love my powder gel formulas. I have one that is from, I think, Caliray, that's very similar in the kind of formulation that it is, and it's like one of my absolute favorites. All right, let's touch this. Ooh, I love this. I'm ruining it though. All right, there it is on my finger. Look how light reflecting it is. Okay, teeny tiny pearls. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is my kind of formula. This might not be everybody's, but it's mine. I really think we're gonna need a dense brush for this. Oh, I didn't even mention, you guys, I have mine in the shade Opal Pink. Dense brush, I think, is really what you're gonna need, because this is not like the kind that picks up super easily on like a fluffy brush. You guys, it's like one with the skin. It really is like one with the skin. I'm not kidding. What? What? Gucci? What? We like it. It's really beautiful. Gucci has a way of making their packaging look heavy and expensive, but this is light. Like this is not heavier than anything else that we've tested. So for 59 bucks, we're getting the name. We're definitely getting the name. Not that we're not getting a really good formula. We're just definitely getting the name. I'm personally okay with that. But I do have other formulas that are pretty similar that are just not as expensive. This, by the way, is a beautiful shade. Okay, we're on to our very final product, and it's the oldest one, I'm pretty sure. It's the Butter Bliss Lip Balm. This one's in Petal Pop. These are, again, $8.50 a piece. Moira Beauty loves that $8.50 price range because like 90% of their things are $8.50, $8.50. It makes it easier too. It's like a marketing strategy. Okay, we're launching a new product. How much are we gonna charge? $8.50, duh. This comes in right now, 11 different shades, and one of them is like a shimmery clear, which is called Rule Breaker, and it looks delightful. It says, it's a delight that packs a punch with shea butter, jojoba seed oil, and meadow foam seed oil, ensuring your lips stay irresistibly soft and beautifully glossy. It effortlessly smooths fine lines and adds a dewy shine for fuller, fabulous lips. Okay, 12-month shelf life on this. It's a decent package. Oh, look. I love when they're made like this. They're like curved properly. I really enjoy this kind of like applicator style. There's the swatch on this. Again, you guys, this one is in the shade Petal Pop. Ooh, it's a balm. It's sticky. It's pretty pigmented. Okay, I hope it doesn't claim to be not sticky because it is sticky. It's a thick balm formula. Is it making my lips stick together though? Kind of. It's a little bit thick. She's a little thick. I love the shade though. The shade is really kind of like my lips, but better. Okay, some people are saying that they don't smell good. They have like a fruity scent to them, and people are saying like it smells like kids' cough medicine. Let me give you my thoughts. I barely smell like kids' cough medicine. Like, it's not like that to me. It kind of has a fruity scent to it. People are like, please make this smell like vanilla, which I get. I mean, that's probably the most popular scent and the most tolerable amongst the majority, but it's not strong. It's not even strong enough that I thought about the scent when I put it on. So that's personally my take. However, some of the shades might be more intensely scented. This just isn't super strong to me. But it's such a thick balm that I think if you don't like thick on your lips, you're not gonna like this. I think it'll probably have like decent lasting power. I just want to see how it works. Like, is it gonna start getting like really goopy, you know? I've talked through all of these reviews in testing all of this stuff. You already know pretty much my thoughts. The only update that I want to give you guys at the current moment is the mascara. The more that I sit with this mascara, the more that I absolutely freaking love the way that my lashes look. I love the intensity. The pigmentation is just my kind of intense pigment for a mascara. It's supposed to be transfer resistant, so we'll test that out as well. I'm gonna go show you guys what everything looks like in natural light because we still have to do the wear test on this base product. Probably this powder, probably this blush, probably all of it. I'd love to give you guys updates at the very end of the evening. I'd love to see personally how everything wears. So I'm gonna part for now, you guys, and I will see you guys back here at the very end of the evening. Bye for now. Okay, guys, we're back. It's late. It was a decent wear test. We're at 11 hours, basically. I'm dewy. I'm nice and dewy. At one point, it looked like my nose was straight up sweating. Can you guys see like how dewy my forehead is? It's pretty dark in here, but I'm definitely dewy. I don't know, I like it. I liked the way that it wore down is what it is. Even though I'm glossy, I liked it. I mean, I'm really, really oily. I'm more oily than I normally am with a more mattifying foundation or a soft matte foundation, so I don't think this is going to be something that controls your oils in any way or something for oily skinned people that helps that. I don't think that's it. But I like the way that it broke down. I like that it's like naturally dewy, you know? Like something about that I just am really enjoying. But if you prefer something that's more mattifying like all the way through the day, then this probably isn't gonna be for you based on this wear test because I didn't put on anything that we didn't try. I didn't use like a setting spray or anything like that. So I don't think this powder, for example, is a great long-lasting oil controller, but I think it did pretty good for like 6 hours probably. I'm gonna stop now and show you guys what it looked like in natural light right away, just close up so it's not on camera. You guys can get a really good idea of what it looked like. All right, and then my next check-in, I did it at like, you know, I think it was 3 hours. I think I might have said 4, but I think it was 3 hours when I did my first check-in. So this next check-in, I'm at the 3-hour mark. Okay, it's a little bit of an overcast day, so it's not like the brightest light, and everything is still holding up really good. I'm getting like this really natural glow. I'm not oily, if that makes sense. Like, it's not holding my oils at bay. Like, you can see my nose and my forehead for sure. The blush looks pretty good though still. We'll see. I have a tendency to really touch my face, so I don't think it's gonna hold up the whole way. But I like how smooth it looks, you know? I have a lot of texture on my face because I just naturally have texture. That's the way that goes, you know? And I don't do anything to like minimize it. Anyway, I like the complexion. I'm not like super matte though. That's it basically. I still like the way it looks. It's just not super mattifying or super oil controlling. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Bye. And then finally, I wanted to do one more check-in, and I think it was at 5 or 6 hours at this point, just to show you guys like how everything was holding up. Okay, we're 5 hours in. I just wanted to do a check-in to show you guys. It is actually still looking good. Look at the blush too. Woo! I'm actually really surprised I'm not more oily. I think we're getting like a little bit of lifting, and I'm definitely dewy, but I'm like freshly dewy. The sun is like blinding me. I'm definitely like in love with the complexion, like everything. And even the concealer, not sinking into my fine lines. It's pretty good so far. So we'll see you guys later. So you guys can see, I really didn't get like this and this dewy until after the 5 hour mark. And even the blush is still there. It's got dewiness too, and it didn't completely transfer. And I laid down on my whole cheek right here, and there's still some blush left. So I really do enjoy the longevity of the blush. It didn't fade off super fast. It did take off the highlight though on the side that I laid on, but it didn't take off the highlight on the side that I didn't. See that right there? So I think the highlighter is like an all-day highlighter too. Just truly something that grips on even longer than the foundation did in some cases. So I'm really enjoying the blush. I'm really enjoying the highlighter, even the eyeshadow. Even though I laid down, like it didn't continue to fall out too much more. Like it's not all over my face. It didn't stay. Again, I highly recommend a glitter glue with this. The concealer too, really, it did a good job. It was beautiful full coverage, and it didn't settle into my fine lines or look too dry. I think this is going to be a beautiful full coverage concealer for me. And I liked the shade, even though I think it's maybe a little bit too dark. It started to look a little bit heavy, I think, under this right eye at one point, but it's still really good. You know, it's on the drier side, but it's not too dry. And probably my favorite thing from today, you guys, is this mascara. This mascara, look at how crazy intense my eyelashes are. Like, they're crunchy. They're full on crunchy, like crunchy. But I love it. I love the way they look. If you like crunchy, if you like volume, like this mascara is definitely one to check out. Plus, I'm telling you guys, it's like a weapon, okay? So I did enjoy everything, and you guys got to see the wear test. I think just overall with the foundation, it's not overly long lasting. It's not like an oil controller. It's not an oil sucker, but I love the way that it faded off, if that helps you guys at all. I think it will. The plus side to this is just how smooth my skin looked throughout the day. So if you're not looking for something that locks you down, like you can expect smoothing with this. That's what I think. And this had really good longevity. The butter balm, it was actually really nice, and it wasn't sticky. It didn't make my lips stick together or get that tacky weird film that goes on. So I enjoyed it. I actually liked it more the more that it sat. That's my full roundup. I don't think there was anything else that I wanted to update you guys on. So I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you guys aren't currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe, you guys. I'm out of here, and I hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.